Welcome one, welcome all to another exciting episode of Tales from the Battlefield. Uh, Today we have a great match for you. Um, this is Persian talking, and we have Swift who is going to be playing in the game.
Hi there.
We also have our strategy specialists Tiga and Alk,
Hello,
Guys, Tigger here.
Alukard here.
and also we have Lazarus who is a specifically an American player. Normally opens with air, like one of our players will be doing today.
How's it going, guys?
Well, Tiga, we'll start with you. Do you have any opening comments you'd like to say before we start this match?
Well, we've got the obvious. We've got Swift and Rasco as Britain, USA, and Hoppa and Alukard as France and USA. We're on side by side, which is face to face for you 1v1 fans, and so it's quite a small 2v2 map, and it requires quite a lot of teamwork. You're sort of constantly fighting in this map. There's no sort of respite from the start of the battle. You're engaged. So because we've got both two Americans, one on each team, we're expecting them to sort of primarily take the recon role, because, well, I mean, British recon's expensive, French recon is more expensive than the Willies, so you expect that, and you also, these woods around the bases are very powerful, so we expect lots of anti-air and AT guns in them, which neutralises air quite early on, so the UK might have a tough time.
All right. And Swift, did you have anything you want to add since you are going to be playing in?
Well, like Tigger said, it's a very small map, and there are some points in the game, there is a lot of stuff going on in different places, so it might be hard to capture all of that, so sorry if we miss anything.
All right. And does anyone else want to include anything before we start?
I'd want to throw in that since Alucard's starting with air, typically going right to heavy bombers is usually a pretty good strategy. But we're going to have to see what the other players are doing in order for him to find out what units he should be building.
All right, then I guess we'll start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, what we can see straight off the bat is that Swift is a bit slow to start building. Now, Swift, what's that about?
Yeah, I was a bit slow because I messed it up when I clicked the ruse button because I wanted to start with the decoy airfield. I wanted to confuse them a bit. We're both going decoy airfield, and we were hoping that they'd think Rasco's was real and maybe consider mine a decoy. I clicked the wrong ruse first, that's why I was a bit slow.
Small thing, but can make a big difference if there's a rush. Now we've got a fortified position moving forward from Hopper. It's camoed blitzed in the middle, and it's pushing forward there.
And just as expected, Alucard's throwing out a couple willies to start off with the recon. He's got it cheap, but also important to notice he's starting off with 3 supply depots, and it looks like he's on his way to making a second building, which is going to leave him with little bit for an economy.
So that fortified position is just being hit by some artillery. Will it turn up? No, it's dead. So there's 3 British artillery pieces. That's $75 spent there. It's quite powerful artillery, but it's expensive.
Yeah, I think we were quite lucky there. If that fortified position had a setup, we would have been in trouble.
We see 4 howitzers now. Alukard still went for RD and AA base. Guess that's a mistake because 4 howitzers cost $100 and he's still pumping out those anti-air trucks, you know, those M16s. That's a bad decision in my opinion.
Yeah, so you've seen the 4 howitzers and now you know that that airfield is a decoy. There's no way he can afford all this stuff that he's pumped out with those 4 howitzers. So you know that's a decoy. Likewise, you can see Swift pumping out a lot and you can be fairly certain that his is a decoy as well. Often though, in the heat of battle, you don't notice these things. Little tank push by Hopper's taken out the AA base. Looks like his tank's not going to make it out with these Wolverines coming in, but he's definitely harmed them to start off with.
Yeah, I was worried we were gonna lose the depot at that point, but he took the RDAA base. I don't know what he was thinking, but I would have taken the depot.
So
Well, the
Alucard's
depot's
pretty
under
much
RC
spent
fire
all
now,
his
though.
money.
Yeah, the
There goes
depot
the
went
depot.
down.
But it's interesting to note that Alukard doesn't really have much on the field. He's got the Willies out and he's got two M16s, but Hopper's under pressure from Brasco's artillery and Swift's Wolverines and infantry. And Hopper can't really get much support from Alucard at the moment because Alucard is spending all his money building.
And speaking of
Nothing
which,
else for
he's
you.
popping up an airfield right now too. So not only does he not have a lot of units down, but he just spent another 60, 65 on an airfield. So now he's back down to 0 money again.
So the pressure on Hopper, it's the Biss is a good tank for taking hits, but can't deal many hits either. But it's quite good for dealing with the Wolverines, as he's just set up that fortified position behind.
Yeah, I think I got slaughtered there. One Wolverine gets out, if I remember correctly.
So Alucard has one light bomber built. And Rasco's going British armour, which is rare to see, mainly because it's not very good. But, you know, it can surprise them, and it works. It does damage. It just doesn't do as much damage per cost as other people's armour.
Yeah, I was a bit
Here come the
annoyed
bombers.
at Rasco. Oh, yeah, this is important to note. I didn't see those bombers until quite late, so my camo just comes up. I was worried he was gonna bomb my Rangers unit, but he went for the anti-tank base, and that annoyed me too because the Jacksons, I was in the middle of researching Jacksons and my research got cancelled, so I lost a lot of money there.
But there was quite a few targets he could have gone for. He could have gone for the artillery. There's $100 worth of artillery there. He could have gone for the supply depots, which are relatively undefended. Went for the AT base. Maybe on the next run he'll hit some of the bigger targets. But it's interesting to note now that Hopper has lost all of his forward base buildings. I think there were 3 of them there, and they're all gone. Just from this light artillery, this British light artillery, and Alucard has been building up and hasn't really contributed to the ground battle over here, whereas Hopper's been trying to fight both of them off.
So Alucard
Saying
now
that
with
he's
4
just
light
sent-
bombs.
Yeah, he's just sent three infantry into the middle, but they're not really going to do much. So let's see what these
Yeah,
light
because
bombs
they're
can
light.
manage.
So
some
Rasco
reason
over here,
he-
seeing that those light bombers are going for the artillery, really nice micro move over here, and he, I think he only ends up losing one artillery. It's pretty nice.
And we have another 2 bombers taking off. I mean, these bombers can do quite a lot of continual pressure, but as soon as the A goes up, they suddenly start being quite poor. And you can see Swift's just built out some buffers, so he should be able to cover the
Yeah.
forest in buffers and neutralise the bombers from any threat on the base. He's bombing the tanks for
I
some
think,
reason. I don't know if he meant to do that. I think it must have been a misclick, but bombing tanks doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, bad choice on Alucard's part there.
Yeah,
Should have
well,
gone for
I think
depots, in my opinion.
there was a bit of a miscommunication between me and Rasco, because if you see, he's built the British Bofors as well. I don't know why he did that, because I told him I was building American Bofors, and obviously his Bofors are more expensive than mine.
Little tank push on Alucard's base. He just gets an AT position up. That should save him, I think. These are only cruisers. They die in 1 hit from an AT position. Yeah, bang bang, they're both dead. Now these bombers, they're not really taking advantage of the lack of AA near the start that Team 1 has. They're sort of, you need them hitting them constantly with pressure if you're going to use light bombers, and he's got too many of them in my opinion. I think this many light bombers, you don't need that many. They're countered quite effectively by AA.
Yeah, but it was okay, you know, as long as he'd put them on the depot. destroy it, you know? If you destroy all those depots with those runs, it would be a different match in my opinion.
I think 2 light bombers is fine. 4 is a bit extravagant. 6 is massively over the top.
Yeah, 6
Yeah, it's
is
a waste
too
of.
much, definitely.
Could have spent that money of it's about $50, I think, at least creating something else to help Hoppa over on the side. Hoppa's shouldering a lot of the load right now.
He's helping with some infantry though. It's still only light infantry. Which is a bit, you know, I try to get heavy infantry as quickly as possible. It's just a lot stronger.
And the
And
game and the bombers are useless in the middle now, just hoovering over the units. They're not doing anything.
I think Alukard could have made a lot of good decisions if he had used a shift click and got those bombers behind. No A, all the AAs in the front. He could have done a couple sneak bombing runs going through the water. Probably taken out a lot of nice
here
base.
On the left. It's looking like there's not much defences, and these infantry are going to cause quite a bit of carnage. But there's a bomber coming over. Now maybe a blitz would have helped them, but it doesn't quite micro them away, and he's going to lose a lot of them there. Yep, that's all of them. So there's 2 more coming behind, but I'm not sure they'll really be able to do anything. Bombers are circling around pointlessly. He's forgotten to bring the recon up, so he could see the base because it wasn't under camo nets, but now he's camoed as soon as the bombers come over. He hasn't got the recon there. The bombers get no bombs off. There's one laying a stack of bombs on a supply depot at the back, but let's be honest, 1 stack of bombs from a light bomber does nothing.
And he's going to lose that bomber too, so that was a useless run.
Yeah, he should have microed it away. After you dropped your payload with planes, you can often, well, you can just tell them to move to a corner, and then once they get to the corner, they'll automatically move back to your base. So you can circumvent the base AA. You just let it fly automatically over the AA, and it died.
Now in the middle I just lost a couple of Jacksons because I was aiming them at the South 40s. I failed to realize that he had the 2 tank destroyers behind him, and I just picked my Jacksons off easily.
But now the tank destroyers are dead because vehicle armor against bombers is rather painful, and those French tank destroyers are only vehicle armor.
he also just killed an SAU with that bombing run, surprisingly. It was almost dead, but finished it with the...
Yeah, just finished it off. How are we looking on depots at the moment? I think Team 2 has 7 and Team 1 has 7 as well. We're equal on points, equal on depots. Ah, okay, there goes a depot. Bombing one just took one out, and it looks like the bomber got away as well.
And the right side depot from Swift is unprotected, not being taken out by the Alukard. That's a mistake.
He's got the AA in the woods if Alucard's careless with his plane flying, but you know,
Yeah, but you can
it
go
should
all
die.
around, so...
But at the same time, Swift should have some bruises left to camo it as soon as the planes go over. So he needs air recon as well.
So
Yeah, he
Alukard
needs
now
a
with
Willy.
fighter bombers, but he's gonna lose those.
Quite frankly, if I was Alucard, I'd have given up on air by now. These buffers just are too strong against your air. It's now you can only really effectively use it to defend yourself. Attacking with air is no longer really possible. Okay,
Still think
that's not true. I mean, you can get some bombing runs around the back with air recon, but fighter bombers, I think, are
Right.
unnecessary.
I think Alukard had Alukard done a little bit more micro work getting those bombers around the back, probably could have